Prince Harry's book Spare is being sold in bookshops worldwide today after a week-long media storm thanks to an early leak. But will Australians buy into the hype? Georgia Simpson has the details.
It's launch day, but people aren't exactly lining up to get their hands on a copy of Spare. But that doesn't mean people don't want to read it. It's already topped Amazon's bestseller list, and it's understood thousands of copies have been pre-ordered worldwide. A paperback copy in Australia will set you back $45. Interestingly, in the UK, there are reports the book is already on sale for half price. Regardless of how much you pay for it, it will give you a front row seat to Harry's high-profile, eventful and in some cases troubled life. He goes into detail about his late mother, Princess Diana, his school life, his service and the relationship he has with his family, which has been tumultuous in recent years. One of his closest friends, polo star Nacho Fugueles, is at the Magic Millions on the Gold Coast. He told Sky News reporter Fuad Haider that he's hopeful of the two brothers putting aside their differences.
You know, it's the start of the new year now, and everyone's got their New Year's resolutions set. Is one of your resolutions to see Prince Harry and William reconcile?
That would be amazing. Nothing would make me happier.
Whether that will happen, time will tell. The 416-page memoir has made international headlines for weeks now. It's finally been released in full, and the Duke of Sussex is hoping to break publishing records and to become an international bestseller.
And joining me live is the royal reporter for news.com.au, Bronte Coy. Good to see you again, Bronte. So it's an immediate bestseller, this one. Even people I love and respect have gone out and bought this book. Did you expect that it would be so popular? I guess it was always...
This is a must-read. Yeah. Even if you have the mildest interest in the royals, this is a must-read. It is remaining to be seen whether what's good for the publisher is good for the subject of the story, and I think that's really the issue at the heart of it, but definitely there's a lot of juicy stories in there. OK,
so what have the reviews been like? Because we've been hearing reports that he is kind of losing the PR war out there and that there may be some Harry fatigue that's coming in.
Well, having quit the royal family, as I think we're all aware, the UK isn't really where Harry and Meghan have been setting their sights anymore. They have no plans to return there. It's the US where they really have to win the PR war, so to speak. And the US has always been traditionally sympathetic towards them, and that's where they're building their big brand. But to be honest, there does appear to be a fatigue setting in. Certainly from the interview with Anderson Cooper that he did the other day on 60 Minutes, it got just over 11 million viewers, which is a great number and a season high for the show. But to note, it's actually about 6 or 7 million down from their Oprah Winfrey interview. And given the topics that he was covering, that's a significant drop.
Yeah. So now that, you know, since the leak, there's been a drip feed of allegations that have come out into the media. But now that the book has been released and people are reading it in full, are we getting a sense that maybe things might have been taken out of context in certain things, or is it just as bad as what everyone thinks it is?
Well, that's the thing we were waiting on, because we got bits and pieces, as you said, of the book, because it was released early in Spain by accident and then there were some leaks. It was waiting to see how he delivered all these stories about his, particularly William and Charles, and it's because it sounded quite brutal in the delivery when you're reading just those few lines. Having now seen how it was presented in the book, the truth is that William comes across probably as badly, if not slightly worse. But Charles, it seems like he does have a bit more admiration and respect for Charles than it was with the headlines. There's some quirky stories about him. It's like he's attempting to be the supportive father that Harry wants him to be, but he never quite lands on the mark. But the context with the other stories, for example, the Afghanistan kill count, I mean, those facts are still in there. He has actually spoken out about that since all the backlash. He spoke on Stephen Colbert and said that it was a dangerous lie and a spin by the media, that he boasted about it. And I don't know how that will be received by the military community and people that were outraged by it, because the fact is still there. But generally speaking, at the heart of it, it's a story about a boy who was deeply traumatised. He speaks about Diana right from the beginning and her death, and that runs all the way through.
Right. There have been some factual errors that have been pointed out as well, haven't there? Like just a couple in the book.
You'd think if you're going to war with the institution and the royal family, it's a big fight to pick, and you would also think that he would have really, checked everything a million times. But in this case, there have been a few things come out. For example, there's a really basic one, is that he was in Switzerland with his father and his brother at the time the Queen Mother died. There are photos of that. And in the book, he writes about how he was at Eton College and he got the call from a random courtier that she died. Now, things like that aren't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it does some damage to his credibility on the whole. And so there's been a few things like that throughout the book that have already been called out.
Bronte Coy, thanks so much for coming in again. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you.